What's up, everybody? This video is going to cover some new knives and sheath systems that I have acquired within the last few months. There is already a knife and sheath compilation video on my channel, but that was favorite knives of 2021. The ones that I will be showing today in this video is, the ones that I really liked in 2021, but these, let's see, I've only bought one for this new year, 2022 so far. The rest of these are ones that I bought either like just a few months, probably back into, I think, starting in August to October and in through December. But this is mainly to show the sheaths that I got made specifically for them, because one of these I had shown in that previous video in, my favorite knives. I think it's called entitled my favorite fixed blade knives of 2021. One of those, and actually more than just one, it's about three of them have were shown in that video, but they actually have different sheaths with them. So I think, I'm just going to bring them out today and show them off. So, okay. For the last close to a little over 7 years, I would say, almost 8 years, I have had an interest in, everyday carry gear, folding knives, multi-tools, flashlights, just stuff like that. I hadn't always had an interest in this, in my life, but starting, I don't know what got the ball rolling with this sort of thing. It might have been YouTube, because there were certain videos that I like to watch on YouTube that were about this, subject, gear reviews, gear testing, stuff like that, kit videos, survival kit videos, and it was, it just sparked my interest. So I believe it was back in November of 2014 where I started carrying, a folding knife, and all that. Well, it has grown into me liking, I still carry folding knives. I carry a multi-tool, a flashlight with me. That's pretty consistent with what I like to carry. But in this video, it's going to cover all my fixed blades, my favorite fixed blades, along, obviously the ones that I had made, the video that I had made last year are my favorites as well. These are some more of my favorites. So I'd like to start it off with these two Esee Azulas. They're the same, they're the same knife. They just have two different blade steels. This one is in 1095 carbon steel, and this one is in S35 VN. And I think this is my, this is my last or latest buy when it comes to the Azulas. I bought it at a Army surplus store in the Dallas area, because I live in Texas. Wow, phone's going off. Let me go ahead and silence my phone real quick. Don't want that to be going off during this video many times. Okay. Got this at an Army surplus store in the Dallas area. I had gone there numerous times over the years and bought different bags, different packs, and I had actually bought my first Tops Fieldcraft, the Brothers of Bushcraft Fieldcraft knife. That was back in like 2016, I think it was. And anyway, I like going to that store. It's like an hour and 45 minutes from where I live. So don't get to go there very often, but I still like going and making it a, you know, like a day trip kind of thing and treating myself every once in a while. So that's where I got this Esee Azula and S35V in stainless. And about a month or two later, I was like, okay, I want a Kydex Sheath for this knife. So I had a Kydex Sheath. Maybe you can see it well. I wanted Kydex Sheath made by Doug Wilson at Yellowhawk Custom Kydex. I had already, you know, made or had some sheath system made by him in months prior. And I was like, I love his work. The fit and finish and the retention is amazing. So I went ahead and got a sheath made for my Esee Azula in S35VN. And this one is, like I said earlier in the video, this one is just straight up 1095 carbon steel. It came with either a blade lock or a tech lock. I don't know exactly. I think it's the blade lock. I think this is exactly what this is. Don't know specifically right off the top of my head. It is that style of you know, carry. And this one came with one as well, but I just don't have that. I don't have it on there at this time. This one, I love this setup because it's got the green G10 handles. The S35VN has the black G10. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I'm so sorry. My nose is itching. And this is like, I absolutely love this setup. It's perfect for around camp. It's a great EDC setup, but it's, you know, obviously the 1095 is, you know, not stainless. It doesn't hold an edge as good as S35VN. It's like probably a third, roughly, either a half to a third of the edge retention as S35VN. And but I thought to myself, even though I haven't used it that much, I love the Esee Azula and wanted to get me one in S35VN because of the steel. That offering in that specific knife was fairly new, and I was like, that would be pretty neat to have. So I got me one. So that's the first one. The second one is, excuse me, nose is itching. Yeah, second knife is one that I had shown in my favorite fixed blade knives of 2021. It was in a leather sheath at the time. But again, since I love Doug's work at Yellowhawk Custom Kydex, I had to have my own. Didn't have to have, but I make enough money to where I can, you know, buy the things that I enjoy. So I went ahead and contacted him and was like, hey, gotta have my own sheath system for my Morakniv. This is a carbon steel knife. It's very similar to 1095. I think this is Mora's. This version is in Mora's carbon steel line, which is very similar to 1095. So I've heard, but don't quote me on that. I've heard it's very similar to 1095, but they're carbon steel, and it's fantastic. I've got this specific sheath is set up with tactical black, just normal tactical black Kydex on the sheath, and then a ferro rod holder, which is made out of black carbon fiber, and what Doug likes to call a voodoo dangler, which has a black carbon fiber plate and black scuba webbing for the belt loop. It's such a, I love this was really meant to just, I was just going to show off my different knives and the sheaths. So I guess it will turn into a Yellowhawk, you know, advertisement video because I love the voodoo dangler. It brings down makes the knife ride lower on your belt. It's a little bit lower. It sits lower on your belt to where you can grab it a whole lot easier. It's not digging into your side whenever you're moving certain ways, and it's such a I just absolutely love this setup. It's very very basic. It's got a ferro rod holder there, and it's just very basic. And I just love. Let me go ahead and take it out. I love this setup. It's like I said, very simple, very just pretty budget friendly compared to the ones that I will be showing later in this video. But it's my probably I would designate it as my budget carry. So every now and then I will EDC this knife when I want a fixed blade, but for the most part I usually EDC everyday carry my Esee Azulas, especially the S35VN one, because I'm not going to be doing any crazy survival tasks with it. It's just being used as a knife, and that's what that S35VN excels at. Has, like I said earlier, it has fantastic edge retention. It it's very corrosion resistant, being a stainless. So, okay, let me see here. Okay, my next knife is one that I had been eyeing for close to a year, maybe. I think they've been around for about a year. They were introduced last year, and what caught my eye about this one is it's very similar to the SE5. The SE5 is an absolute tank. I've had one. I decided to sell it because it was one of those where it was a very desirable variant of the SE5 where it had a skull logo on the blade. And I thought to myself, I'm like, yeah, it looks cool and all, but there's people that are, it's more sought after than what I like it for. So I went ahead and sold it. And I could use the extra money at the time, so that's another reason why I sold it. But anyway, this one is very similar to the SE5. It's about the same, close to the same dimensions, but it's a bit thinner. I can't remember right off the top of my head what the thickness is. Okay. Yeah, I can. It's 0.153, so close to it's 153 1/1000ths of an inch. But anyhow, this is a Knife Connection Field Buddy 5.5, and unfortunately, mainly because I got a little impatient, this is not in CPM 3V. I do have some knives a little bit later I will be showing that is in CPM 3V, but I went ahead and got the 1095 one because I never knew whenever it would go out of stock and be out of stock for months, and I just wanted one. And so this one would be like an awesome camp knife. So and a little bit of survival, but the fact that the blade is about 15. You call it 15. 153 thousandths thickness. It's not the best when it comes to just absolutely abusing your knife in a survival situation. Not that you would want to do that, but that's usually what goes along with the whole survival mindset. Let's beat the living crap out of our knives and just see how they can hold up. This one is, like I said, in 1095 steel. And it, since this knife, this whole sheath system, I mean, you can get, I went ahead and got me a Kydex Sheath, which is the sheaths that are offered there on the website. And I got the nylon, I guess that's what it is. It's the same backing that goes on an SE5 sheath. I guess it's SE5, could be SE whatever. SE7 or 7, SE6. Yeah. Getting a little mixed up here. That's the Ontario Rat 7 that I'm thinking of. Anywho, okay. This knife is very customizable, which is a reason why I wanted to pick one up, because I could just make it my own. And in a way to make it my own, I got the burlap micarta handle scales. It just looks fantastic. I love just the look of the burlap micarta handle scales. In this, even though I really haven't used this knife much, I love just the it's not very normal for a knife like with this blade profile, because it looks like a combat kind of like survival camp knife. But it's, it's thin. Like I said, it's about 153 thousandths of an inch thick. And I was like, whenever I saw that design, the fact that it didn't have a big, huge finger choil, because I am not a fan of finger choils. I cannot stand them. I mean, if I didn't have anything else, any other knife, then I would make do, like an SE6 or like the Ontario Rat 7, which I have a Rat 7. I don't have an SE6, but those knives have finger choils, and I'm not a fan of them. I like having my handle as close to the cutting edge as possible, and that's the reason why I just don't understand finger choils. That's a personal preference for me. If you do like finger choils, then more power to you. That's awesome, but I'm just not really crazy about finger choils. Eventually, with this with this sheath setup, I'm gonna add like a pouch for like a kit or something like that, and but I haven't gotten or found. I'll probably put the Esee pouch, 10 pouch on this, because I'm pretty sure it will take, with these slits and stuff, it will work with that pouch. But eventually, that's what I have planned for this sheath. It's you can buy these off of the Knife Connection. I don't know if I mentioned that yet, but the knifeconnection.com, and the blades are made and heat treated by Tops, which is a fantastic company. I love my Tops Brothers of Bushcraft Fieldcraft. I've got 2 of those, one in 1095 and one in 154 CM stainless, and they're fantastic. So I have no doubts in my mind that this knife would perform well. So that is one. My next one to show is a Bark River Bravo 1 LT in CPM 3V steel. This one is, sporting another Yellow Hawk Custom Kydex Sheath. I originally bought this one used in a knife group on Facebook, and I bought it used, but it was in fantastic condition, and it's it came originally with a leather sheath, but I mean, while it worked okay, some of the snaps, especially the belt loop snap, just didn't want to stay snapped. And you do not, when it comes to a knife that costs you about $180, you don't want to lose the thing. You don't want to lose your cutting tool anytime. Whenever you're in a camping situation, and especially a survival situation, you want your tool to stay with you. And I didn't feel like that leather sheath that came with it could be trusted much. So, and along the lines of the fact that I absolutely love Doug's work at Yellow Hawk Custom Kydex, I went ahead and got a sheath system made for my Bravo 1 LT. And this one is in CPM 3V steel. This is the ramp excuse me, the rampless version. I just didn't like. I did not like, you know, just the look of a knife having a ramp on it. I'll probably get one eventually if it's just really like if I've changed my whole preference and outlook on it. But as for right now, I've just got the rampless Bravo 1 LT, and just like my Mora Garberg system, this is pretty much set up the same way, but it has a you know, a less basic pattern on the sheath itself. This is a Cryptek Typhon. You can see it a little bit. My lighting isn't exactly the best with what I have to work with here in my room, but like I said, Cryptek Typhon, and there's a ferro rod holder that's just in straight tactical black, and that's because that's the same pattern that was on the sheath of my Mora Garberg, and the same thing on the plate of this Voodoo Dangler, another Voodoo Dangler. That's pretty much the same way as on that Mora Garberg. I just can't say enough about this carry means of carry method on this sheath, Yellowhawk sheath here. And also, something that was first introduced to me whenever I got this sheath is the slide lock. It's literally just a small screw bolt with a washer, or excuse me, a nut. I don't know what type of bolts and washers or nuts these are, but they have rubber washers on them, and you can literally just, to adjust, either adjust the retention or bring it up all the way. You see that I moved it up, or in order to bring it up all the way, so it's a lot harder to take the knife out. And that's what I wanted, was even though I didn't tell Doug whenever I ordered this, he just threw it in, and I'm so glad he did, because it introduced me to something that I had no idea that I wanted. And from then on, I was like, hey, can you add me a slide lock to this system? And he's like, I'll do my best, because some designs are a little hard to you know, incorporate a slide lock, and but so far he's been able to deliver and make it happen for me. So just to kind of push that down a little bit. Yeah, Bravo 1 LT in CPM 3V with a Yellowhawk custom Kydex sheath. All right, the next one is another Bark River. I absolutely love Bark River knives. For like the longest time, I thought an Esee knife, like, you know, $120, $150, $180 was expensive. Well, now they're sure seems like that they're, you know, pretty affordable. I mean, they're not like a charade, you know, a 1095 fixed blade charade survival knife, because those are like $30, $40, you know, sometimes even $20, around the $20 range. I thought Esee knives were affordable, or expensive, excuse me, until I started getting into Bark Rivers. They're fantastic. They're, you know, they were very well made. They're just really well made tools, but they're not exactly cheap, especially if you get, you know, an aftermarket sheath made for one. So my let's see. Yeah, I guess this will be the last knife that I'm showing you in this video. This knife is a Bark River Bravo Alpha. This is one that I was introduced. A lot of my knife preferences and my current likes has to do with, like I said earlier in the video, YouTube channels, different YouTube videos. This one specifically comes from Chris at Prepared Mind 101, and it was just one of those knives where he he was just reviewing it randomly, and he absolutely loves Bark River knives. He EDCs a Bravo 1 LT, very similar to the one I just showed you, but instead of it being rampless, he likes the ramp on it, and it's in CPM crew wear, which I haven't bought any knives that's in that steel yet, but I mean, I'm just now, just now getting familiar with CPM 3V. Eventually, I may. I'm not really sure, but at this time, I'm content with CPM 3V. Yeah. So there was a video that it was like almost 2 years ago, about a year and a half ago, where he posted a review of the Bravo Alpha, the Bark River Bravo Alpha, and he reviewed it, and I was like, that thing looks cool. So for Christmas this last year, Christmas of 2021, I got a Bark River Bravo Alpha, and even though, which I don't have it with me, it's off to the side here somewhere, it came with an ambidextrous leather sheath, and while that sheath is fantastic, it's great, no complaints about it, I actually really like it. I just like Kydex, and I love the sheath options, the different things you can put on a Kydex sheath, and I just really like Doug's work. I mean, really, when you really elaborate on it, I just love his work. So after having this knife for maybe a week, probably not even a week, I sent it off and had a sheath system made for it. This is called a Sear 1 survival system. That's what Doug at Yellowhawk Custom Kydex likes to call these, because at least with this system, it just has a pouch. This is a 10, an Esee 10, where I, for right now, my plan for it is to just put a fire kit in it. And for right now, I have a ferro rod, some jute twine, and I think it's a mini Bic lighter. It may be a full-size Bic, but I think it's a mini Bic lighter. And it's not in any way finished, because I still want to put more stuff in there. I mean, there's more room in it, so I can, there is more room for me to put some extra stuff in there for my own fire kit to put in this, along with this system, with this Bravo Alpha. And just like with maybe you can see it, maybe you can't, but right there, just like with my Bark River Bravo 1 LT sheath system, there was, he introduced me to the slide lock. Well, I told him with this one, I wanted a slide lock put on here, because I just love that extra security when you're walking the trail and you don't want your knife to fall out. You don't want it to come out, to lose retention. Well, that's what that slide lock is there for. This knife, the sheath system is in, the sheath itself is in Black Raptor. It's got a very kind of like black leather kind of look to it. It's it's just like normal Kydex, but it has like a leather to it, a black leather to it, and that's why I saw it in another Prepared Mind 101 video, and I was like, I want that on my next sheath. So I told Doug about it, and he hooked me up. This plate here, as you can see just a little bit right there, that's holding this pouch on, is in black basket weave. I think that's what it's called. You can barely see it, but maybe if the light hits it just right, you can see it. It's holding the pouch on, the pouch plate, accessory plate. That's what that is. I got another Voodoo dangler with a black scuba webbing dangler and another the same pattern. The black basket weave or the black brick pattern is the same thing that's a part of that plate, that pouch plate that's here on the front or the side of the sheath. I'm very just simple when it comes to my sheaths and stuff. I don't want anything like really out there and just like, hey, look at me, that just screams like I went all out with this. And so that's why it's pretty much all black. I mean, what am I saying? It is all black. I usually like simplicity, and I am a bit OCD with just different things in my life. And since this knife, brand new, I bought it brand new, it was around $270, I think it was, shipping and all, with that leather sheath that I'm not using right now. It was about $270. So, I mean, with the type of quality that these bark rivers are made by, and what you are getting, it is worth it. It's not for everyone, but it's definitely, I mean, it's still worth it. These, I would have no hesitation whatsoever, taking this thing out, and no hesitation whatsoever with it being able to deliver as a camp survival, bushcraft knife. So this, go ahead and take it out and show you. It's got a nice kind of kep art, I would say, a spear point shape to it. It's black micarta, I think, polished micarta handles, and this is like the default go-to choice for bark rivers. I had about later part, there you go, about later part of last year, my first bark river was a Bravo 1, just a regular Bravo 1, which is, I think, I'm not even going to say it. I can't remember what thickness it is, but that one was in CPM 3V, and the handles was natural micarta. I would have kept it and kept on using it if the edge thickness was pretty thick, and I had to literally like bring the knife up to about around 40 degrees in order for the edge to find the wood that I was whittling. And I was just like, no, I don't like this. So after figuring that out, getting like a feel for the edge and the thickness of it, I was like, yeah, I'm not really enjoying this knife. It's beautiful, it's made well, but just the thickness of the edge, I like thinner edges, and that's why I have this this Bravo Alpha, that Bravo 1 LT, and that the Knife Connection Field Buddy 5.5. So these, yes, I do have a part of me that still likes thick, robust survival knives, but it's just kind of overkill. It's just not, it's just not a necessity in my preference. So I'm thinking here if there's anything else that I haven't shown or anything that I would like to show, but I don't think there is. So I think that does it for my current, at least up-to-date favorites when it comes to knives and their sheath systems. So anywho, well, I hope the ones that have watched this video have enjoyed it. I know I've enjoyed it. I love this type of stuff, so that I wanted to make a video about it. So I'll be uploading that on my YouTube channel. That's exactly where this video will be. So anywho, hope the ones that have watched this video will have a good day. All right. See you later. Bye-bye.